Hi, I'm Darren Miles with Darren Miles Photography here in beautiful sunny Naples, Florida. You know, the word value in the eyes of most photographers typically means great optics with some compromises. For example, a zoom lens may have a variable aperture, or a prime lens may not have that wide of an aperture. Maybe the focus motor is slow or buzzy, or maybe there's no focus motor at all. Or perhaps the build quality may not be all that great. But as photographers, we're willing to accept those shortcomings because we're able to capture great images in spite of them. Well, the definition of the word value is about to change because along comes the 45mm f1.8 from Olympus. We're going to spend the next 5 or 10 minutes analyzing this absolute gem of a lens, courtesy of Olympus. Okay, first up is focus speed and accuracy. Let me just start by saying that it is extremely quick and extremely accurate. I remember when I first started using the OMD, and this was actually my very first lens. I actually remember thinking that this thing focuses so much faster and so much more accurately than my amazing 85L from Canon. And if you've ever used that lens, you know it focuses kind of slow, but it's not accurate at all. This is more or less the same focal length, and it's really, really fast. Olympus says that the lens is nearly silent. In reality, I can't seem to hear a thing. It's also movie and still compatible, which means that it's made for both shooting movies as well as stills, and based on my experience, it does a very good job at both. But it's one thing to talk about how fast something focuses. Let me just give you a brief demonstration real quick. I'm going to focus on something far away. Actually, I'm going to focus right at the camera. And you hear that beep, it's actually really fast. And then up close, really quick, and this focus motor is extremely fast and it is deadly accurate. It doesn't sail past the subject, it just locks on focus very, very quickly. All in, it's a very impressive performance. I give it a solid 9.5 out of 10. Okay, so up next is build quality. It looks like metal, but it's actually shiny plastic. And man, is it a lightweight. It comes in at just over 116 grams, which is just a little bit more than 4 ounces. That will qualify the 45mm f1.8 as a featherweight. There are 9 elements and 8 groups in here, and the front filter thread is 37mm wide. There's no focus distance meter on here, but the focus ring itself is really smooth and really buttery. It's also a fly-by-wire configuration. The lens is not weather sealed, but given its relatively low price point, that's basically expected. And for its price point, it's actually put together really well. But in reality, it's a bit plasticky. And as I mentioned early on, there aren't a whole lot of compromises with this lens, but if Olympus compromised anywhere, it was with the quality of the materials, not the way the lens is put together. But all in, it's still a pretty solid effort, and I would give the build quality a 7.5 out of 10. Alright, so up next is optical quality and the quality of the results. It's one thing for me to tell you about how great some lenses' optical quality is. It's probably better if I just show you. The next minute or so is going to be stills and clips taken with the 45mm f1.8, and frankly, they're amazing. Okay, so up next is value. And at just $399 US, the 45mm f1.8, in a word, is sensational. There's so much photographic goodness stuffed into this little package. It focuses quickly and accurately, easily fast enough to capture the kids running around the house, and the optical quality is just great. Then when you factor in the price, it's ridiculous. The results I get from this lens are easily on par with some of my best glass from Canon, and I use a lot of L lenses. I could go on, but you get the idea. The value for the 45mm f1.8 is easily a 10 out of 10. Okay, it's time to finalize this review and draw some conclusions about the 45mm f1.8 from Olympus. In a nutshell, the build quality. It's not great, but it certainly isn't bad. If there's one shortcoming with the 45, it's the build. It's put together really well, and it looks like metal, but it's just a nice grade of plastic. There's no focus distance meter, and the lens isn't weather sealed. But all in, we thought it was a pretty solid effort. And these are the kinds of compromises you have to consider if you're going to bring a lens with this kind of optical goodness to market. You have to sacrifice something. And in the case of the 45mm, Olympus sacrificed the build. Just the same, it's still a respectable 7.5 out of 10. Focus speed and accuracy. It's really fast and really accurate. And unlike many of the other Olympus lenses made it to the OMD, this one is one of the few that locks focus without first sailing past the subject and then coming back. It finds and locks focus with amazing precision. It's a 9.5 out of 10. Optical quality and the quality of the results. Given its optical prowess and its really nice color rendition and sharpness across the frame, for optical quality and the quality of the results, the Olympus 45mm f1.8 gets a 9.5 out of 10 for both. Value. As I mentioned previously, it's nothing short of sensational. Great optics, fast and accurate focus, reasonable build, one look at the results, and it's really easy to forget how the lens is built. For value, the 45mm is a 10 out of 10. Overall, the Olympus gets a 46 out of 50 and easily earns our highly recommended badge. The final word. If you can get past the okay build quality, again, not the way it's put together, rather the materials themselves, then there's a lot to love about the 45mm f1.8 from Olympus. So to answer the original question, has Olympus redefined value? For many Micro Four Thirds shooters making their way up from a point and shoot or on their way down from a DSLR, then I think the answer is a solid yes. And in reality, it's a no-brainer and should automatically be considered as one of the first lenses to accompany a Micro Four Thirds body. This is Darren Miles with Darren Miles Photography here in beautiful sunny Naples, Florida. And until the next time, thanks for watching and happy shooting.